Okay. So we're going to be creating a floral canvas tonight, okay? Just so I can catch the record, okay? I'm real sorry, girls. Hang in there with me. Okay, I got a little flustered. I know, right, Carrie? Okay, so we're going to be creating this floral canvas. This is 12 by 12, but tonight we're going to be working on the A4 paper pad. I'm going to be adding lots of color and different elements to really jazz it up a little bit, up the ante. Okay, so I'm going to start with Jamie Doherty's A4 watercolor paper pad, and the number for that is 980269. Okay, good thing I caught the stop record before that all went south. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add a new color. I know. I'm not too flustered for long, so I'm good. Alright, so I'm going to be adding cotton candy color bloom spray first. And I'm going to start from light to dark. And this number is 573737, okay? And remember, you can add color and take away. That's the wonderful thing about going light to dark. And I also I'm going to grab some baby wipes here, just in case my mist goes somewhere I don't want it. Okay? And I'm running a little low on the bottle, but I'm not going to add a whole lot. Just some over here on the corner. Let's see, I knew I was going to run out. I'm just going to flick it on there and then move it around with a water bottle filled with water. Okay? So I'm just adding some cotton candy color bloom spray to my paper pad. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and mist this and get it kind of saturated, not too much. Get some fluidity with the watercolor and move it around a little bit, okay? Let me know, girls, if there's any issues. Okay? So I'm just going to get it moving a little bit. All right? All right. Stick it there. Next, what I'm going to use is Soft Teal, which is 573782, and I'm just going to go in anywhere. I really love this color. It's one of my favorites. All right. All right. And you can go in and add more if you want. You can dry it and then add another layer, whatever you want to do, okay? So I'm trying to stay more organized tonight, so I'm going to just set these aside in my container. Oh, Kat, I am using the Jamie Doherty A4 paper pad. It's a watercolor pad. This is the paper pad that I'm using tonight, okay? You can mount it to a canvas or whatever you'd like, okay? So I'm just, right now, I'm just adding color bloom spray to my background, trying to keep my table clean. So I'm going to turn it this way a little bit, okay? Now, these precious stone and vintage coal, I'm going to be just using sparingly because they're darker and I don't want to go crazy with them. Of course, I probably will in the end. I always contradict what I say. Alright. Get it moving a little bit. Oh, I love the colors that are coming up along. And you just want to encourage it to flow a different way. I like the streaks. I think that's a lot of fun. Alright. And I like the splotches here and there too. Okay? Up at the top. I'm going to add a little bit here. And some of this is going to be covered, obviously. Sometimes I try not to waste my product, but right now when I'm on the show, it's just kind of hard to plan ahead, and I go ahead and just go with it. I'm going to add a little bit more pink. Come on, I really want you to work. I'm just going to flick it on and just spread it. It's not working right now because there's not a whole lot left. There's less than I thought there would be, so I'm just kind of using the last bit of it. And I'll just end up tonight, whenever I'm cleaning up, I'll refill it. Alright, So I just spread on Precious Stone, which is 573812, okay? And this, here's the one that I really want to be careful with. It's Vintage Coal. It is very pigmented, and it's very similar to black, so I don't want to add a whole lot. Okay? Just a flick here and there. And I love what you can do with these color bloom sprays. You can just do a quick squirt and get some squirts. You can take it out of the bottle and use the nozzle if you don't trust it. Sometimes I get a little overzealous with my spraying and it can kind of go crazy on me. So that's what I do. Girls, I hope you can hear me okay. Yes, Vintage Coal, use sparingly. Okay, so I'm just soaking up some of this deliciousness because I don't want it to be too vibrant. And remember, the key to this is you can always add more. So it's nice to just kind of go sparingly at first, and if you don't like the effect, just add a little bit more. Okay? So I'm just taking my baby wipe and just spreading out the color a little bit, cleaning it up a little, getting it to where I want it to be. Okay? Alright, so those are put away for now. I keep going back and wanting to add more pink. So my original, I did not add pink at all. It was very blues and greens and lots of grays. So I thought upping the ante. Pink is always very pretty. It's very classic. So I thought I would up it a little bit and add pink this time. Okay? So I'm just going to go in and dab. I'm not going to really wet it a whole lot. And some of this is going to be covered. I'm just going to add some Soft Teal down here because that is one of my favorites. Just going in and wiping up with a baby wipe, okay? Okay? Letting it run a little bit. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is, let me see here. You know what? On my original, I had lots of splatters. I don't know if you can see. Really, really splattery. It's upside down. Okay, so I'm going to try to go in and increase the density of the spray here a little bit. So maybe not so much go in with the watercolor or the water. And just have fun with this. I mean, it's no big deal if it goes a little crazy on you, like it just did with me. Just kind of top it up. Just go with the flow, no pun intended. Just flow of the water. Is Paula on here? Oh my goodness. Paula, you should be in bed. You crazy gal. You're so sweet. Coming. Hi, Barbara. I'm trying to follow along with chat, girls. I hope that I don't sound like a chipmunk and I sound normal now. I know that my voice isn't isn't so normal, but okay. So there you have it. I have a little bit there. I'm going to go in, clean up with the Soft Teal. I really want to up the ante, so I am adding a lot of color. And it's not going to look exactly the same as my original. It's actually going to look pretty different. At least I think it will be. But I think you'll like it, and you'll get lots of ideas of different things you can try. Feel free to try any color, really. I mean, this is up to you. Okay, so I've got some streaking down here, like I did in the original. Alright, so here's the fun part. Alright, so, and I wanted to make sure that I get all the numbers. Did I add? Vintage Coal was 573799. Okay, so I used 4 color bloom sprays so far: Cotton Candy, Soft Teal, precious stone and vintage coal. And now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to be showing you a new technique tonight. Well, it's not new, but it's new for my Live with Prima shows. So Finnabar came out with all these new mica powders. There's a range, I think she calls them, there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then I think there's a gold, I think, and I know there's a copper, I believe so. There's probably like 7 or 8, maybe 9 colors, okay? And they come in these gigantic tubes. I mean, I've seen mica powders on the market, and it's only half of this. And you get a lot of bang for your buck, and it's really pigmented. So you're gonna really have a lot of fun with this. It's 0.60 ounces, okay? So that's quite a lot. It's gonna go a long way. So many things you can do with this, okay? And one of the things you could do is you could put it in a water bottle and add some water and use it as a mist. But I have found when experimenting with these things is that you're going to want to use something that's binding to the water, and that's where this comes in. I was introduced to this. It's a gum Arabic, and I was researching it, and it actually comes from a tree. And it's gonna just hold it together, okay? Because if in the past when I've just put regular mica powder in the water bottle, it's gonna come out at the end after it dries. It's still gonna look slightly powdery. So you're gonna need some type of binding agent, whether it be a modeling paste or a molding gel or gesso, maybe even clear gesso. You can mix it with an acrylic medium, or this stuff. This comes in a powder or liquid, and I prefer the liquid. So what I'm gonna do, let's put the lid back on this, because I don't know why I unscrewed it, just I guess to tell you. Okay, so I'm gonna be adding it in here tonight, and you want equal parts gum Arabic and water. So I'm gonna add those two first. Okay, so I added maybe a tablespoon. You can always go back and add more. I'm sure that's going to be plenty. And I'm just adding a little bit of water to it. And it's okay if it's not exact. And I'm going to go easy with the mica powder because there is quite a bit. So I probably added maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just kind of measuring. And again, same thing with, you know, like color bloom sprays. You want to just go, easy at first. You can always add more. It's better to add more than have to take away. It's not as easy. Okay, so I'm just checking that. I kind of want it a little bit brighter. So I'm just going to go in and add a little bit more. And I have quite a bit of liquid in there now. Probably 2 tablespoons. Maybe 2.5. So in the end, maybe I'll add a full teaspoon of mica powder to it. I mean, this is gonna go a long way. So don't throw it away, girls. Like, put it in a container and save it. Okay, so I'm just gonna screw this back on because it is getting all over the place. That's the fun thing about mica powder, is just it gets everywhere. Okay, anybody have any questions so far? Yes, you can add more powder to add to the vibrance. Feel free to kind of play around with it and kind of get a feel for, you know, colors, and if you want to add or take away. Well, of course you can't take away, but I'm going to just, you know what, I'm not going to add this. The color is gorgeous. It's actually called blue, and I'll give you the number for it. And that's why I wear my glasses. It's 962494, and it's Finnabar's Art Ingredients mica powder in blue. Okay, so look at that. So gorgeous, and you're gonna get so much. It's gonna go quite a long way. So I'm pretty confident that I have enough mica in here now. And if you're just joining, I've added gum arabic and equal portions of that and water. Okay, so I'm just mixing it around, and I probably added maybe a teaspoon of the mica powder. Just depends on how much you want for your project. And I'm going to add quite a bit of this because I really love the blue. Okay, so I'm just going to flick it on with my paintbrush. And I'm thinking that I might even go a little bit, add a little bit more. I know it looks so bright. I really love this stuff. And there's no way that you can become, I don't feel like you can become too overzealous with this, because you just can't go wrong with this beautiful product. I love it. Okay, so mix, mix, mix. Go crazy. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just kind of laying that on here, and I can move it around. I can add some water to it to get it to move a little bit more for me. Okay. All right. So I'm just taking a paintbrush and kind of adding here and there. And I'll probably go back in at the end and fill in. I haven't added my fifth and final color on my background, which is the berry wine. I'm going to be adding some berry wine, which is one of the new Prima's new color bloom sprays. I'm going to be doing that at the end. So I'll probably go in at the end when I, I'll probably just follow the berry wine with a little bit more blue. About a year and a half ago, I really was on this blue kick, and everything I felt like I did had this color blue on it. And it's so pretty. So maybe I'll do a little flicks. Okay. Maybe one more. All right. And a lot of this is going to be covered, girls, by the embellishments, but that's okay. I'm not really worried about it. You know, I'm dealing with a smaller size, but I like that idea, because sometimes you want some smaller projects. So I'm cleaning up a little bit here. And you can just take a baby wipe or you can take a paper towel and kind of go in and kind of play around with it. Blend it some if you want. Kind of get a sponged look. Whatever you want to do. I think that going in and adding this is going to add a little bit more texture to the background. It's kind of flow along with the stamping I'm going to be doing next. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and I'll probably come back to it. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let me clean this off a little bit. Anybody have any questions so far? So let me get up here. Okay. So look at that. There's lots of texture. There's lots of bold color. The blue is obviously going to be the main scene here for now, but you can definitely see the pink and the teal in there, as well as the different colors of gray. Yes, I'm using, actually I was using a baby wipe, but then you can use a paper towel. Okay? Ugh. Oh no, Eileen, oh dear. I hope that it's not like that. We're having some issues with that tonight. Yes, Paula, I am wearing the same blue. That's funny. Well, girls, I'm really sorry that Carrie thinks it's Ustream. I hope it's not me. Yeah, it is choppy. Okay, so all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to blast this with the heat gun. I'm just going to give it a quick dry because I'm going to add a lot of stamping to the background now. So I want to really make sure it's nice and dry. Alright, thank you, Eileen. You're so sweet. Again, I'm so sorry if anybody's having any problems. Sometimes I go and dry the back. Here, I'll stop it for a minute. So sometimes your paper can like not warp, but it'll go like this. And sometimes when you dry it, I have found that it sometimes goes back. I'm just giving it a quick dry. You girls are so funny. Okay, so we're pretty much set. So I've dried it now, okay? Alright, so what we're going to do is, let me wipe my hands here. So on my original, I have some butterflies and a lot of background stamping with black ink, okay? So I'm going to be doing those things next on my A4 paper. Okay, so I'm going to move this away. And there's a little bit of a glare. And I'm trying to keep that. Trying to see if we can fix it a little bit. I don't know if that helps or not. That probably, I don't know if that's helping or not. For some reason I feel like there's more of a glare than ever. Okay. Alright. So what I'm going to be showing you now is the stamps that I'm going to be using tonight. Okay? So these are Finnabar's cling stamps. They're new. There's tons and tons of different options for these, okay? So tonight I'm going to be using the Don't Forget to Fly stamp, which is 962005. I mean, you're going to get tons of beautiful stamps. And you even get some of Finn's artwork in there, which is gorgeous and it's so unique. I don't see many stamps that have that kind of intricacy to them. You're going to have some beautiful simple butterflies, some with like script. You're going to get these music scripts here, and obviously some of these fun little sentiments. And I'm also going to be using the Rust and Dust cling stamp, which is 962050. And I'm going to be using the crackle looking one down here at the bottom, but I also thought this one would be neat too, so maybe we'll add that, who knows. Alright. So I'm going to be adding a couple of the butterflies and then mostly this crackle stamp. But there's so many different things you can use. I mean, look at these gears and the clock and this scripty up here on the wood grain. Oh, so cute. And while I'm here, I just wanted to show off the other ones because they are so pretty. And this is called the Never Too Late. And these are all on, I checked, they're all on cherry.ontop.com. 961985. Here's another one. This is 962036. This one's so pretty too. The little teacup. 962043. And here's some fun ones. This one's Old Town, which is 962029. Okay? They're all on cherry.ontop.com, which is my go-to place. They're always so sweet there and helpful. But I'm sure all the other ones have them there too. Scrapbook.com, Blue Moon Scrapbooking. They're probably on Etsy as well. They're probably on Simon Says stamp probably as well, because they're stamped. So we're going to be cracking these open. I'm going to be using Black Hole ink tonight by Ingelbaum, okay? And I don't think I put that down there. Wait a minute. Yes, I did. 890995, okay? Ingelbaum chalk edger. I'm going to be really careful with the chalk edgers because they can run if you add medium to it. So I really kind of need to make sure that I'm either done stamping or I avoid my stamps after I do it. And avoid any mediums so we don't have any issues. So I see a lot of fun little crackles here, down here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to be adding a lot of ink down on that corner specifically. I'm really going to press it in because I really want to get some nice impressions. So I'm really getting it inked up here. I'm going to go over the whole thing. And now when I do my background stamping, I very rarely, if ever, use an acrylic block for this. Because I really want to be able to fold it and kind of play around with it, which you're going to see here in a second. Okay, so here's all the detail, lots of big cracks and stuff, so I'm just going to add it, and then I'm moving them around. I'm going to go off the corner, off the side a little bit, and you just want to keep adding more ink until you get the texture that you want. Alright, I'm going to do some up here, and obviously you're going to want to blend it so you can move it around so you don't want to get any straight lines, because that's why you need to you're going to bend it a little bit, okay? And I know some people don't like that, but that's just how I do it. So I want my cracks to be coming down off the top. Okay, so I'm going to do some of this. And I kind of like how that line just came down off of there. But I'm weird like that and like weird stuff when it happens. So maybe I'll make another line over here. Okay, so I'm just adding some background work with some textured stamps, just using a crackle stamp right now with some Black Hole chalk edger. You might be better off using the acrylic, the regular ink here, Crafter's ink. So I'm just doing a bunch of stamping right now, okay? I'm going to go down and finally do the bottom corner. And again, some of this is going to be covered up, so I'm kind of staying over near the edges a little bit. I'm just going to go the whole way down and do the edge. Get the whole thing. You girls are so, I know, it is. Look at that. My whole thumb is covered. Tried to wipe it all off, and it's just, but it doesn't really matter because it's all coming off on the same stuff anyways. Just adding a little bit of texture. Okay, alright, so maybe a couple more. I want it a little bit darker down here. Okay, so now there you can see there's tons of texture, and you can get it as dark as you want it. Can everybody see that? Okay, let me get it focused. So right there I just used which set did I just use? The Rust and Dust. Alright, Get lots of nice texture. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to go in with, just for sake of time, I'm going to add just a couple different butterflies. I think I'm going to do one big butterfly and do one of these little butterflies down here. And this is the Don't Forget to Fly cling stamp, which is 962005. Okay? And I am going to use an acrylic block with this because I just want to get nice pressure. And you really, really want to ink it up real good, okay? Because I want to make a bold statement with this butterfly. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be peeking out from the flowers here at the end. All right. Might even stand up a little bit. My table is bending on me here a little. So let's just hope for the best. Okay, got one. That's good. Maybe I'll do one. No, I didn't do this with the original. Maybe one just coming off the edge like that. Okay. Okay. And then we'll do a couple of the little ones. Just setting it aside. These are so cute. I mean, you could do so many things. Like, you could take the new Prima markers or watercolor pencils that Prima has now and fill them in with different colors. That'd be so cute. Just add one there and maybe one more somewhere else. And remember, you can always come back in at the end and add. I'm adding them near the edge because it's not going to be, because all my embellishments are going to kind of go in here. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. We're going to come back with and use the black coal in a minute. I want to wipe my hands. I'm sure this mica powder is all over my body now. Probably all in my hair. And anybody have any questions? Yes, you could. That's perfect. You could cut it out. You could even use pop dots to give it some dimension. Wouldn't that be cute? Good idea. Okay, so let me set those aside and get that all off here. I'm going to start embellishing now. I fell really behind. What I'm going to do is, let me show you again on the original. Okay, so I added lots of multi-levels of white paper underneath this To Live metal embellishment. So I'm going to take just the A4 paper pad and I'm just going to tear it into pieces. And just for sake of time, I used 3 different levels of this paper. And I scrunched it together like this a little bit, because your metal frame is going to go on top. And you can even ink the edges like this. Just kind of give it a distressed look. It's going to go right into those folds. And I can lay that down as my first layer. Alright, so I'm just going around the edge, and I said I would come back to this later, and I'm already using it again. Just inking the edges of the A4 paper pad, because I'm actually going to use it to embellish tonight. It's going to go directly in the center, and I'm just going to stick with that for now. I actually forgot to grab my cardboard tonight. So I'm going to be going with the foam adhesive. I'm just going to give it a nice one layer here. So I'm really going to pop this up, okay? all these flowers are going to be very dimensional. And it starts with this centerpiece here. And then we're going to add around it. All right. So we're going to come back to this. Okay. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use tonight. And to start, I want to use these gorgeous tiara whites, and they're hard to see. They're so hard to see right now. I'm trying to hold them up. There's such a glare. Ugh, it's hard to see the whites. Let me put them down on the table here, and you can see better. They come in sets of 3, and it's 5, 6, 7, 1, 6, 3. And I'm going to be using the 2 smaller ones out of 2 packs. And the big ones are gorgeous. They have stamens in the middle, which I did use on my original. But since they're so big and my project is much smaller, I'm just going to be using the smaller guys this time, okay? So I'm kind of scrunching them up in my hands. And the reason for that is I don't want them to lay completely flat. And I'm just going to give them a quick blast with lime wedge. And then I'm going to do something else really cool with them. And I don't mind working with these when they're wet, but you want to probably give yourself enough time to let them dry before you add them to your project. So what I did, I'll give them a little quick blast with the water. What I did on my original is I added some mica powder or mica to the centers, okay? It's really going to bring some cohesiveness to the project. Maybe flick it on some. I like the flicking because it's making it really kind of playful. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more water. Whatever you want to do. So many different colors. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. With these tiara, you can actually go under and glue them and just scrunch them together. Okay? And I'm going to do a little bit of that tonight. You want to do that after you do the misting. So mine's not going to actually probably stay like that. I'm probably going to have to keep playing with it until it stays. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. I don't need this anymore. Sorry girls, I'm cleaning up a little bit. Trying to make room. This. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck that in around this centerpiece, okay? And then I added a smaller one down here. I'm going to kind of pop that one up too. I really love how they just kind of hold with the glue. Here, I'm going to get my hands all gluey and sticky. Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way. Yes, I can keep them stored in little mini things. I know that Michael sells little small containers back in their art section. Where they keep their art supplies. They come in little tiny containers, 1 inch. There's like one that's 1.5 inches about, I guess. And then you can just pour any of your mediums. Like last time I was on, I actually used that exact same bottle to hold my medium, my extra. And usually it's not going to be completely airtight, so you're gonna want to use it sooner rather than later. but it should stay pretty well preserved for, I don't know, a couple months maybe even longer in the right conditions. Okay, so I'm just popping this one up. Ah, so pretty. I love the green and the blue together. I just think that that's so pretty. That's probably why it's become one of my favorites, is because I love that combo. I was considering upping the ante and adding yellow, but I didn't want to go crazy, and I just thought the pink would be just more pretty. And I'm going to add a little bit more pink because it is starting to become covered under the beautiful embellishments. So we'll probably do a little more misting here at the end. Or you can just leave it the way it is. Next, what I'm going to be using are these, hold on, I'm trying to find this, these are called Peaceful. They're from a couple collections ago. It's 577957, and the whites are really not showing up too well. I'm really sorry. They have these beautiful crystals in the front, in the middle. And I'm just going to grab a few of those. And I'm just going to lay them around on the paper. I'm going to scrunch those as well. These are some of my favorites. And kind of don't be afraid to tuck one in underneath something, so it's sort of peeking out. Because like I've said before in the past, you really just want it to look like an actual flower garden. And this glue gives you a little bit of time that you can get wiggle room where you can kind of play around with things. And if you want to move something, it's going to be a little bit forgiving. So I'm just going to tuck one up here at the top. Scrunch and glue. Yes. I was wondering the other night why Carrie's comments always pop out at me. It's because it's highlighted. How about that? Okay, Soprano. These are Soprano Aqua, which is 571703. Okay, so I'm just taking them off the little, I don't know what that is, floral wire. I'm just going to take, I had on my original 6 of them. So we'll see how many we get on here. Maybe we'll just do 4 since this is a smaller piece. And I still have to add these beautiful, I have to add something unexpected. And on the original, I actually, to give it a little more flow, I did ink these, okay? I'm just kind of playing around with them a little bit, scrunching, scrunch, 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 girls. These are Soprano Aqua, and I'm going to tell you where you can find them. They're a little bit harder to find, but they are out there. I know that Simon Says Stamp has them, and I also found them on Etsy. Okay, so they're a little harder to find. I know that one place I looked only has like a couple other colors from the this particular collection, but you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. Just look at Simon Says Stamp or Etsy. Okay, my glue is sticking. Okay, so I'm just adding, let me add one here. That'd be pretty. I want to move this one. I want that flower, that leaf. I really love the leaves, and I kind of want them to go in separate directions. So it all just kind of flows together. Just kind of just playing around with it. Okay, show you here. I don't know what is up with the color tonight. There's something wrong with this, with the lighting. I don't think it's the lighting. I'm not sure what it is. So I'm sorry if there's a glare or there's a color issue. Okay. All right, so next, what I want to do, I actually will add one last soprano. I'll probably add it down here at the bottom. So here's where it gets fun. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add these Manhattan flowers. And these are from the Manhattan collection. This one's called Fifth Avenue. It is 577667. They're a nice rosy pink. Okay, and they go perfectly with the cotton candy. That's why I'm adding those two things together. A little something unexpected. It's going to give you a nice contrast from my original. And you just want a little bit more romantic. So just with adding just one extra little softer color, you can really turn the look totally. So it's totally different. Okay? And let's see, this one doesn't want to stick. And I'm thinking because it's wet. It doesn't want to stick for me right now. Okay, so does everybody understand what I just did? So I'm adding the Fifth Avenue collection flowers to kind of give it a different spin. I'm just really going to do a lot of tucking. Tuck, tuck, tuck. You can add some leaves if you want. Just going to give it a different look. So I'll go back in at the end and probably add a little bit more cotton candy color bloom to kind of bring it all together. Okay, kind of just want it all to flow. Some scrunching, scrunching, scrunching. Kind of play around with them a little bit. It's okay if they're going right to the edge. I don't mind that. Okay, so we're coming together. Oops. Let's try that. Alright, we're just going to go with that for the rest. I just am really annoyed with the lighting right now. It's not doing what I want it to do. And these blue aqua sopranos are really going to complement the blue in the background. And inking them is also bringing together lots of contrast with the stamping and the background. It's just bringing it all together. Okay? Alright, so let me clear off some of this. I think I'm done with the sopranos. And I'm going to hold off. Let me see here. I think maybe one more here at the end. We'll see. So let me put this aside. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some of this berry wine color bloom spray. It's 580308. And I want to be really careful. I don't want to go overboard with it, but it's going to add a lot of pop of color. And it's really going to complement the blue well. It's going to be something unexpected, and it's going to give you a totally different look. If you don't prefer that, just keep it the way you like it. Okay, don't need to do what I do unless you want to. So I'm just going to spray some here and there. Okay, and I'm just doing really quick squirts like this, and it's going to give you those splashes, which I'm going to chase a little bit. Okay, so you're going to get this beautiful purple to kind of flow along with the pink. Just do some squirt, squirt, squirt. You don't need to add the purple if you don't want to. I just wanted to try something different. And I'm going to go in, oops, I'm going to use a wipe. clean some of it up. Because you don't want too much purple, okay? And be real careful not to spray over your chalk ink unless you know that you're completely done. You can use the archiver's ink if you need to. So I'm just adding some purple to it. At the end, I want to come back in and add a little bit more of the cotton candy where I haven't added a lot. I don't mind covering up quite a bit of the white. I'm just going to add some flicks and just leave it like that. I'm adding it right over top everything. I really don't mind that look. The splashes. So we're coming along quite a bit. So you see the transformation between my original and this one after you add that pink and that purple hue. I love the berry wine against this. I think it's so pretty. And really, even if you wanted to do even something even crazier, I don't mind kind of messing around with this a little bit. Like, you just want to be careful, but I'm just going to squirt right in the middle. If you want a darker tone, just some idea, okay? Just an idea is squirt the middle, so you're going to get a two-tone flower, okay? You don't have to do that, okay? Yeah, I just removed the nozzle to that because I thought I had to add more than I did. Yes, I'm adding different colored flowers, and I'll show you what the original, how different these two look. What that pink does is just adds so much, okay? Now, I'll show you a close-up here at the end, because I am almost done. I got like 2 more minutes. Okay, so next what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to add these fun metals, and they are from Ingelbohm. You got the water pipe frames, which is 891770, okay? And I believe that's these two. I'm trying to recall. I know that these go together. Okay, these pieces go together, the wheels and this, okay? And those are car parts, which is 891855, okay? And the Remember to Live, which we're going to be using. And you have these fun little corner pipes that you can add around your photos. That would be really cute. But I don't need those tonight. I just wanted to show you what comes in the pack. Okay? We're going to be using this frame. I'm just going to stick it right here. And this is going to add so much to the finale of your project. It's going to really transform how it all looks. Okay? And it's hollowed out in the center, but I just took, on the original, I remember I took just really, really thin strips of adhesive, and you can just stick it right to it, but I don't mind gluing this because it's going to adhere to my flowers anyways, because it's all overlapping. Okay. All right, and lastly, I'm going to add just some foam adhesive. This says, "Remember to live your dream," and it's going to go right in the center. Okay? So even if you lose, you know, about 4 inches of paper, it's, you know, you can make it work. All right, lastly, what I want to do, this is the very last thing, I'm going to add some of these Shabby Chic Treasures from Inglebohm. And I have just a couple that I want to show you. These are the leaves, and they are 892579, okay? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a pack. Shabby Chic Treasures, those are brand new. Got the cupcakes, okay, and those are 892531, okay? And since I am making a garden, I'm going to add these sweet little rabbits, okay? And those are 892616. So I'm going to crack those open, and I'm going to pick a cute little rabbit to hide in there somewhere. And which one do I like? They're all so cute. I don't know if you can see them. They're hard to see. Ugh, they're so hard to see. I'm going to add this guy. Where do I want to put these? I think I'm going to add him right there down at the bottom. Okay? So I'm just going to take some adhesive, put it to the back, and just stick it right on there. Tuck it in. It's okay if it's tuck, tuck, tuck. Okay, so you can add as many of those Shabby Chic Treasures as you want. I just added the cute little bunny. You can add a cupcake or the leaves. There's a bunch of different animal ones this time that she came out with that are so cute. I can envision those on a lot of child layouts. Okay, so we're pretty much done. Okay. All right. So you can see the transformation. I added the cute little bunny down here at the bottom. You get a lot of dimension to it. All right. And the metal adds so much to the middle. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And here, I'll hold up the original, see if you can see it a little. I mean, those are totally two different things. Like, you can see quite the difference when you add just a little bit of pop of extra color. Thank you so much. So just take your time, girls, and just have a great time. All right. All right. So let me hold this one up. Let me get it to focus. So you're going to get lots of different color and texture with the stamps. I'm going to add some of that berry wine to get a nice splash of color. That blue mica just really is so gorgeous. I'll get some of this down here, or up here, sorry. It's late. It's really past my bedtime, girls. Okay? Thank you so much. No one has any questions? Yeah, you got to get out the mica. And remember, you just want equal parts of the gum arabic and the water. Just play around with the combination. Thank you. Thank you, girls. So there's lots of fun ideas that you can do with this. Girls, so I'll try to take a picture of this so you can all have it on Facebook and get a better idea of the colors. The color's a little bit off here tonight, and I feel like the detail, you couldn't see the bunny very well. So I just want to do it justice. So I'll probably try to take a picture and get it on Live with Prima Facebook page or something, so you can see it a little better. Okay? All right. All right. Anybody have any questions? Ooh, that would be pretty. That's a great idea. You're welcome. Thank you. All right. So don't forget about Miranda's class this coming Tuesday. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And also don't forget about the special delivery kits that just came out. You can see it on Prima's Facebook page, okay? Thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. All right. Thanks for stopping by, guys.